Chapter 2, Section 3. Like we were just talking about, we used addition and subtraction yesterday. So naturally, we're going to go to multiplication and division, right? So that's what we're talking about today. Let's go through this little chart together real quick. It gives me an inequality over here, right? 2 is less than 5. Is that a true or false inequality? True. It gives me all these operations to do on both sides of my inequality. So we're going to go through and do each operation on both sides. So we're going to add 7 to both sides. So what's 2 plus 7? 9. What's 5 plus 7? 12. Thank you. What is my inequality symbol?
The same.
It's the same. It's less than, right? Yes. I don't see that. Does everyone see how this is working now?
No.
No?
Yes.
Okay. You can write it down, yeah? So, divide by 3. What's 9 divided by 3? 3. 12 divided by 3? 4. And what's my inequality symbol?
The same.
It's less than still, right? Now we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. What's 3 minus 3? 0. 4 minus 3? 1. And my inequality symbol?
Same.
Less than. The same. Everyone with me now and understanding what we're doing on this slide?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're adding negative 5 to both sides. What's 0 plus negative 5? Negative 5. What's 1 plus negative 5? Negative 4. What happens with my inequality?
It changes.
It's the same.
It's the same. Right? Negative 5 is less than negative 4. Right? Now we're subtracting negative 10. So I've got negative 5 minus negative 10. What happens if I have two negatives right next to each other like that? Turns into a positive. Stay, change, change. So I get negative 5 plus 10, which is 5. Same thing with my negative 4 minus negative 10. I've got to stay, change, change. What's negative 4 plus 10? 6. And what is my inequality symbol? It's the same. Everyone's still with me? I'll slow down.
Wait, on the subtract minutes and please add 10.
Okay, for the next one, add 11. What's 5 plus 11? 16. 6 plus 11? 17. What's my inequality symbol? It's the same. Everyone's still with me? Huh?
It's not really ever going to change. Yes.
Let's subtract 6 from both sides. What's 16 minus 6? 10. 17 minus 6?
11.
Inequality symbol?
Same.
The same. Everyone's still with me? Okay, let's multiply by negative 2. What's 10 times negative 2? Negative 20. 11 times negative 2. Negative 22. What's my inequality symbol?
Oh, it's opposite.
Oh! It's just going to stay the same throughout, isn't it? No, it's not. Is it? It flipped on me, didn't it? Okay, let's keep going, see what happens. Let's add 16 to both sides now. What's negative 20 plus 16? Negative 4. What's negative 22 plus 16? Negative 6. Inequality symbol. Now it's staying the same again, isn't it? Let's divide by negative 2. Negative 4 divided by negative 2. Positive 2. Negative 6 divided by negative 2. Positive 3. What's my inequality symbol? Oh, it changed again, didn't it? Uh-oh. Okay, now let's add 8. 2 plus 8. 3 plus 8. Inequality symbol. Oh, it's staying the same now, isn't it? Last one. Multiply by 2. 10 times 2. 20. 11 times 2.
1, 2.
Inequality symbol.
Stays.
Stayed the same. So, what do we notice about when my inequality symbol changed?
Really only
Oh.
multiplication and division.
What?
Really only multiplication and division did it.
Each time I multiplied and each time I divided?
Negative.
No, not each time.
Just
Negative multiplication and division.
Say that again.
Negative multiplication and division.
Very good. Anytime I multiplied or divided by a negative number, it flipped. Correct? Now when I added a positive or added a negative, it stayed the same, right?
Yes.
Yes. When I subtracted a positive and subtracted a negative, it still stayed the same, right?
No. Yes.
Yeah, my inequality symbol stayed the same when I did those things. When I multiplied by a positive number and divided by a positive number, it still stayed the same. The only time it flipped was if I multiplied by a negative number, right here, it flipped, or divided by a negative number, here it flipped. And every other time it stayed the same. So that's the only twist on today's assignment and lesson. Is anytime I multiply or divide both sides of the inequality by a negative number, I have to flip my inequality symbol. Everything else is the same, just like solving our equations. Use that one step using our inverse operations. I just have to watch out for multiplying or dividing a negative, because then I have to flip it. Let's see why it flips it. When I multiply or divide both sides by a negative, it changes both of my signs, correct? So, let's look at the 10 is less than 11. We multiplied by negative 2. So that changed my signs. So when I change the sign of the bigger number, the 11, it becomes a quote-unquote bigger negative, right? Which, what do we know about negatives? The bigger the negative is, the smaller the number is, right? So that's why the inequality symbol flips. Are there any questions on that? Okay, let's get into the notes.
That wasn't the note.
That was part of the notes. Let's get into the rest of the notes.
That's all we need.
Can I go ahead and move on? You don't have to write this down. This is in the book. This is just saying, if I multiply or divide by a positive number, it gives me an equivalent inequality, and my symbol just stays the same. Okay? So that's all you got to know from that. Any questions on that? Let's look at our examples. Yes?
what if the
Is it
inequality
anytime you
itself
multiply
is
or
negative?
divide negative?
Wait, say it again.
What if the inequality itself is negative or be the same?
What do you mean?
Like the numbers on the inequality are like one's negative and one's positive.
It just has to be the number that we multiply on both sides. So if the number that we multiply on both sides is positive, it stays the same. If the number we multiply on both sides is negative, then it changes. Okay? Yes?
So, if it's multiplied or divided by negative, it changes, but if it's like added or subtracted by negative, it stays.
Yep.
I just need to write it down.
The only time it flips is if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number. Okay? Let's look at our examples. Solve. X over 8 is greater than negative 5. Okay, what's the operation going on between X and 8?
Division.
Division. What's my inverse of division?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So to get X by itself in this case, what do I need to do to both sides?
Multiply 8.
Multiply by 8 on both sides. So I'm left with X on the left-hand side. What's negative 5 times 8?
Negative 40.
Negative 40. Okay, does my inequality symbol flip or stay the same? Are you sure?
Flip.
Are you sure?
How the freak does it flip?
Bro, you can't say both.
Can't say like I'm sure.
How many of you say it stays the same?
I'm confused on
How many of you say it flips?
I'm not.
Okay, you're probably confused by this. There's a negative number over here, correct?
Yeah.
But We're not looking at that number. I'm looking at the number that I multiply by on both sides. Is that number positive or negative? Positive, so it stays the same.
Oh, I knew that.
It's just the number that you multiply on both sides. Okay? It doesn't matter if the 5 is negative right there. I multiplied both sides by a positive, so it stays the same.
So, will you go back so I can
Got blacked out or something.
Right, what now?
like the opposite foot thing?
I got you.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. Okay. So, here's my solution. All values that are greater than negative 40. Any questions on how I got that? Now I've got to graph it.
Do we always have to graph it?
If it tells you to, yes. Okay, open or close dot on negative 40. Open. And which way am I shading? To the right, because I want all values that are greater than negative 40. So that'd be to the right of negative 40. Any questions on how I'm graphing? Are we all great at graphing? Good. Can I move on to B? Negative 24 is greater than or equal to 3x. Okay, what's with the x here? What's with the x? 3. What's the operation going on between 3 and x? Multiplication. What's the inverse of multiplication? So I'm dividing both sides by 3. Negative 24 divided by 3. Negative 8. I'm left with x on the right hand side. Does my inequality symbol flip or stay the same? Stays the same because the number that I divided by on both sides is positive. So there's my solution. Questions how I got that?
So we haven't had to flip yet, right?
Nope, we have not. Open or close dot, and where's the dot?
Closed on -8.
Closed on negative 8. Everyone good? Tell me if it's open or closed.
Yes.
Shading which way?
Right.
To the left. Remember, we always read it from the variable's point of view. X is less than or equal to negative 8. So on all the values that are less than or equal to negative 8, so be to the left of negative 8. And if you're going to follow the rule of whichever way it's pointing, your variable needs to be on the left-hand side. So that's what it would be if you're following that rule. Should be shading to the left. Questions about that? Questions so far? Okay, is everyone fantastic with graphing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, is everyone okay if, for time's sake, I skip the graphing part on our notes? On your assignment, if it says to graph, you still need to graph. But for my notes, I'm just going to skip them for now if y'all are okay with them. Okay, can I move on? Okay, let's solve these real quick. You just get the solution. N over 7 is greater than or equal to negative 1. N over 7 is greater than or equal to negative 1. What do I need to do to both sides here?
Multiply 7.
Multiply by 7 on both sides. That'll cancel out on my left-hand side. Negative 1 times 7. Negative 7. Does my inequality symbol flip or stay the same? Stays the same. There's my solution. Golly, that's terrible. There we go. Questions on one? You do, but for time's sake, I am not going to graph them on the notes. Okay? Number 2, negative 6.4 is greater than or equal to 1 over 5w. What's the operation going on between w and 1 over 5? Multiplication. What's the inverse of multiplication? Dividing both sides by? 1/5. So I've got negative 6.4 divided by 1/5. What does that give me? Get negative 32. I've got W on the right hand side. Does my inequality symbol flip or stay the same? Stays the same. There's my solution. Questions on 2? Okay, 3. What do I need to do on 3? What? Divide by 4 on both sides.
You going to say.
Okay, I'm slowing down. So on the left-hand side, I'm just left with B. What's 36 divided by 4?
9.
Positive 9. And does my inequality symbol flip or stay the same?
Stays the same.
Stays the same.
So I don't understand how it does flip. Like only when it's a negative number.
Only if I multiply or divide both sides by a negative number. Have I divided both sides by a negative number yet?
Okay, so the next one.
Have I multiplied both sides by a negative number yet? No, I've not. Number 4.
Oh,
What do I need to do to get Q by itself? Divide by 1.5. So I have negative 18 divided by 1.5. What does that give me?
negative 12.
Negative 12. I'm left with Q on the right hand side. Does my symbol flip or stay the same? Stays the same. Questions on 4? Questions on 1 through 4? We getting it? Yes. Oh, you're getting it. Okay. I got you. Can I move on? Oops. So this is just telling me that if I had to multiply or divide both sides by a negative, I've got to flip the symbol. When multiplying or dividing each side of an inequality by the same negative number, the direction of the inequality symbol must be reversed. So that's us flipping it to produce an equivalent inequality. So we got to do that to produce an equivalent inequality if I multiply and divide both sides by a negative number. Okay? So let's look at these examples. 2 is less than y over negative 3. 2 is less than y over negative 3. What's the operation going on between y and negative 3? Division. What's the inverse of division? So I'm multiplying both sides by negative 3. Negative 3 times 2. Negative 6. I'm left with y on the right hand side. Does my inequality symbol flip or stay the same? Here it is flipped. Does everyone see why it's flipped? The number that I multiplied by on both sides of my inequality is the same negative number, correct?
Yes.
So in order to produce an equivalent inequality, I've got to flip that inequality symbol. So here's my solution. Questions on A?
No.
Not too bad? That's the only twist for today. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, flip the inequality symbol. Letter B, negative 7y is less than or equal to negative 35.
Even though it's like switched to everything, we still have to go and we graph it.
You're still graphing this the exact same way.
Like this is going that way, you gotta graph it right. Left. Right?
Let's graph this one real quick. Open or close dot? Where's the dot?
Open on negative 6.
Open on negative 6. Which way am I shading?
Left.
Left. So I want it less than negative 6.
Okay.
Questions on that? Okay, letter B. What do I need to do to letter B to get y by itself?
Divide 7.
Divide by negative 7.
Divide by negative 7 on both sides. Negative 35 divided by negative 7. Positive 5. Does my inequality symbol flip or stay the same? Flips because I divided both sides by the same negative number. Questions on that? Okay, I'm waiting. Any questions? We getting it? Can I move on to my last slide of examples?
Yeah.
Okay, there's 6 problems on the next slide, so I'm going to kind of go through kind of quickly on them, if everyone's okay with that.
Yes.
We're getting the concept though.
Yes.
Okay, if I get going too fast, please let me know. If you don't understand something on one that I've done, please let me know. Everyone got it? Okay, let's do it. 6 problems. I'm going to go from 5 to 8 to 6 to 9 to 7 to 10. Okay? So, P over negative 4 is less than 7. What do I need to do to both sides? Multiply by negative 4. Cancel that out. So I'm left with P. What's 7 times negative 4? Negative 28. Does my inequality symbol flip or stay the same? Flips, because I multiplied by the same negative number on both sides. Questions on 5? You can if you want.
No, like do we bracket?
I'm not going to.
But like do we bracket?
Well, it's
If
not,
it tells you to on the assignment, yes.
But do they don't tell us to
Do what?
it's not asking us,
It's not telling us to.
so we don't bracket.
so don't grab.
Number 8, negative 9m is greater than 63. What do I need to do on number 8?
Divide negative 9.
Divide by negative 9 on both sides.
7.
63 divided by negative 9?
Negative.
Negative 7. Symbol flip or stay the same?
Split.
Flips. There's my solution set. Questions on 8? Okay. Number 6. X over negative 5 is less than or equal to negative 5. What do I need to do to both sides? Multiply by negative 5. That'll cancel out. Multiply by negative 5. I'm left with X.
Positive 25.
Positive 25. Does the symbol flip or stay the same?
Split.
Flips. Is everyone understanding when to flip the symbol?
Yeah.
What do you mean, kind of?
How are you not understanding?
It's either yes or no.
Well, switch on negative.
It's only if you multiply or divide both sides by negative.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Okay, number 9.
Negative.
Negative 2r is greater than or equal to negative 22. How do I get r by itself here? Divide by negative 2 on both sides. So I get an r over here. What is, please wait till I ask the question. What's negative 22 divided by negative 2?
Negative 11.
Positive 11.
Positive 11. My bad.
Does my inequality symbol flip or stay the same? Flips. Divided both sides by a negative number. Questions on 9? I'm moving too fast for anybody. Yes? I'll slow it down. Slowing down. Number 7. I've got 1 is greater than or equal to negative 1/10 z. What's the operation going on between negative 1/10 and z?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So what do I need to do to both sides?
Divide. 1.
Divide by negative 1/10. That'll cancel out. Divide by negative 1/10. I'm left with z on the right hand side. What is 1 divided by negative 1/10? Negative 10. Inequality symbol flip or stay the same?
Split.
Flips. There's my solution. Questions on 7? Last one. Negative 0.4 y is greater than or equal to negative 12. What do I need to do to both sides here?
Negative.
Divide by negative 0.4 on both sides. So I get y, and then negative 12 divided by negative 0.4 is what?
30.
30. Does my symbol flip or stay the same? Flips. Okay. So the key takeaway from today. My inequality symbol only flips when I multiply or divide both sides by a negative number. Any other time I'm solving an inequality, it stays the same. If I add by a positive, add by a negative, subtract by a positive, subtract by a negative, multiply by a positive, divide by a positive. It all stays the same. Okay? Are there any questions about any of the notes we just took?
No.
Okay, here's our assignment. I think this is like 9 problems. 8 or 9 problems. Page 77, 4 through 20 evens. This will be due Thursday, September 23rd on Canvas. Okay, everyone do this right now. Get a piece of paper out. Everyone get a piece of paper out for your assignment. On your paper, go to the top right corner and write your name. Top right corner, write your name. Below your name, write today's date. Is everyone doing this right now?
What is today's date?
Today's date is 9/21/21. Below your name in the top right corner. I don't want this any other way. I want it below your name. Below the date, put the period. Put 5th period. Everyone write 5th period on your paper below the date. Okay, below 5th period, you're writing the assignment. This is your assignment right here. Page 77, numbers 4 through 20 evens. I want those 4 things in that order, just like that, at the top of your paper. Do I want it any other way? Is everyone listening to me? Look at me. Look up here at me. Do I want it any other way besides that?
No.
I want your name first. I want the date directly below your name. I want the period directly below the date. And I want the assignment directly below the period. Do not stray away from that. Just like that. Everyone got it? Okay. Everyone have the assignment written down? Are there any questions before I end my recording? About the notes.